Hello everyone, I know it's been a long time no here. Welcome back to Gleek's Kitchen. Sorry, it's been a long day. It's actually Christmas Day, but I really want to get this recipe to you guys. This is Tasso black-eyed peas, and what Tasso is, it is a Cajun ham that you cure yourself. And it's not really ham, you make it from pork shoulder, aka country ribs, and you make a dry rub. I'll show you what it looks like. You make a dry rub and you rub the country ribs in it, wrap it in saran wrap, and cure it in the refrigerator. See all that spice on there? For 3 to 7 days. Ideally, I only had 2 days because after Christmas Day, it's back to work for me. But anyway, so I did 2 of these, and be very careful with this because it's very spicy. So I'm gonna cube the meat and then get it into my skillet. All right, I'm back, and I have cubed my tasso. You see it? And I'm going to get it in the skillet, and I'm going to cook it low because I don't want it tough. Cook it low and slow. Now, ideally, I may have said Cuban. Tasso is Cajun. It's Cajun. I'm going to put the bone in there just to extract all that dry rub off of there. If I'm repeating myself in this video, please forgive me. I had company Christmas Day and filmed this video after everyone left. But I want to thank you all for supporting my channel. I had to get this recipe to you. You got to try it. Let me know. All right, I've got my tasso rendered. See those spices and fat? So what we're going to do with the spices and the fat is we are going to, you're probably just supposed to sweat these. Well, that's probably way too many, but I'll cook them down, and whatever I don't need, I won't use. But anyhow, I'm going to caramelize mine because I like the extra layer of flavor that it adds. And see, my tasso is cooked down. This is very spicy and very salty. So you do not want to season your peas until after you add the tasso to the peas. And but we'll talk about that part when we get to it. Let's get these caramelized and I'll be back. Forgot to tell you that I pre-cooked my smoked turkey. You can use ham hock or whatever you want, and my peas are already picked through, cleaned, and they're soaking. I soaked them overnight, but you want to take the meat off the bone from whatever smoked meat you cook. And the broth from the smoked turkey is ready for me to add my peas to. And you will see how this dish comes together. It's one of my absolute favorite recipes. My cousin Lyndon, I may have mentioned that to you before, introduced this recipe to me when we were on vacation. And it's literally the best black-eyed peas I have ever had in my life. I'm not kidding. Anyhow, I'm going to let this do its thing and we'll be back. Alrighty, I have sweat these down sufficiently. Now, I do not remember if the original recipe calls for garlic, but I love garlic, so garlic's going in. Now into my crock pot go my peas that have been picked, cleaned through, and soaked overnight. I don't want my peas to have too much water, so I'm gonna scoop some of this broth out of here I have learned the hard way. I don't like soupy peas and beans. Let me get this extra broth out of here. I'll be right back. Alrighty, there we go. That was way too much broth. I like for my broth to come just over my peas. I don't know if you can see that. So into the crock pot go my peas, my tasso. I'm gonna add the smoked turkey. Once the peas are just about done, I'll add the smoked turkey back to the pot. Wow, that may have been enough tasso for 2 pounds of peas. No, I think that's good. And we're gonna set this crock pot and let this do its thing. I will add the veggies that have been caramelized at the end as well, or close to the end. I'll be back when these peas are just about done. All right, I am back. And let me tell you one of the secrets to making creamy black-eyed peas or any is to not add too much water. See how thick and creamy that is? I didn't have to take any of the peas and mash them because I didn't add too much water. I added my veggies. I went ahead and threw those in there so I could go to bed. And I got up this morning. I set the crock pot on low for 10 hours. Got up early this morning, added the smoked turkey back to the pot. I also added an additional 1/4 teaspoon of salt, maybe less. You salt it to your taste. And I added a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar because Cajun spices are really heavy. And all the paprika in the recipe can be a little bitter. The peas weren't bitter, but I just like just a smidge of sugar in my beans and peas. And you do what you like. Now the last step here is I'm adding 1 whole bunch of minced parsley. Another thing about Cajun seasonings is they can be quite heavy. And this parsley, and the crock pot is turned off. The residual heat from the peas cooking will cook the parsley. Excuse me. All right, we're gonna stir that in there and let the heat do its thing. You guys have got to let me know if you try this recipe. It is delicious. The tasso, don't be afraid if you don't cook your tasso thoroughly when you sear it. Make sure it's just good and brown and most of the fat is rendered from it, because here's a piece of tasso. Let me show you how tender it is. Ooh, that's hot. So tender from cooking. And the peas, boy, that is a good pot of peas. As always, thank you for stopping by my channel. The full recipe, list of ingredients, as well as measurements will be listed in the description box below the video. I hope you guys hope your holiday season was wonderful, and I hope you have a prosperous, blessed new year. And once again, thank you for all your support.